Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson Media. As we told you, today is a Thursday. As you know, we usually have our guest, and we are very lucky to host one also of our guests in Kisumu. We will give you time to introduce yourself before we go to the main discussion. Thank you very much, my brother. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Brother Benson, for hosting me in this wonderful podcast. I really appreciate. So, I go by the name Joseph Adede Sheshe from Kisumu, Kenya. I'm a young person who is so much interested in leadership, the field of leadership. Actually, I am a politician. The last year, 2022, I vied for MCA in Kaloleni Shaurimoyo Ward, Kisumu Central Constituency. I did not make it. I was number two, but I'm still within the political field, still pushing my political interest and the interest of Wananchi. So basically, I am just a youthful person who is interested in community service, who is interested in development, who is interested in leadership. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Muesh, and for that brief introduction. I know you ran on an ODM ticket. That is something that is
Exactly.
there. And the main reason for discussion, we want to discuss the strength of youthful leadership like you in a political parties, because most of the time we've seen how hard you try, mobilize, and even do so much in the party, not eh, across the board in all political parties. But when it comes to nomination or other organs of making decision, we find that you are not so much involved. Do you feel like your efforts are being recognized in all political parties as a youth?
Okay, that's a very wonderful question, and I think I have a good answer from my political experience.
Mhm.
So what I can say is that like last year, 2022, very many youths came out strongly to vie for these political seats, from MCA to MP to women rep to senator. We had so many youths going out for these political seats. And I can say that to a greater extent, young people still have a long way to go when it comes to political interest. Most of these parties are not headed by young people, as you are aware, because it's always a challenging for a young person to have a vibrant political party. So most of these young people are being headed by our elder persons, and these people tend to have their own network of other elderly people, the people they grew up with, the people they associate with, the people they networked with. So as a young person, when you are entering to politics, it's like you are starting from zero.
Mhm.
You are starting from zero because you have zero connections, you have zero networks, you have very minimal or no resources. So like you find that your say within the party is not that much. Sometimes, in fact, it is even so bad to an extent. Sometimes serious political meetings are being held by your party, but you're not even invited. You're not even called. There's no communication. You just see in the media that such a party met yesterday. Party members met yesterday. You are wondering, like, I'm also a member of this party. Why are they not calling me?
Yeah.
Like, it happened to me several times when I started joining in politics. You realize that meetings are just being held. You are not invited. You
Mhm.
just see elderly people, youth. It's like we have no voice. It's like we have no say. Eh? And to make it worse, a young person when you are joining politics,
Mhm.
they, there's a lot of mistrust. When you are joining, especially these big political organizations like ODM, my party is ODM, I invite
Mhm.
ODM, but
Yeah.
there's this mistrust. when you want to be close, they start asking questions that are you really one of us, or you are just sent by that people to come and spy on us. Even if you tell them I'm one of you, they'll ask you where were you been, where were you all these years? But you tell them I was in school. The last 3 5 years I was in school, so I couldn't leave school to join politics. So it is very challenging. And
Mm-hmm.
remember,
Mm-hmm.
like for example, you find yourself that you're vying against somebody who has been in the political system for like 20 years. So they will tell you like you are a newcomer, so go slow.
Okay, let's wait. I think he might come back. Um, Actually, especially the youths, if you look at most of our political parties all across the board, majority of young youths who are in the leadership, they usually don't get that opportunity to be in decision making, and that one makes us wonder who are going to be the leaders, because they tell us that they're going to be leaders of tomorrow, and most of the time they don't get that chance to be in those meetings. And I hope Adede is having a problem with his network. When we are still waiting for him, I'm seeing one of my good friend from another channel where we usually meet. He's called Tuni Muhammad. Thank you so much for your support. You've been very supportive to this channel, and may God bless you big time. We have Jakademi in Berlin. Thank you so much. We have Brenda Obeidi too. Is in the house. Thank you so much for your support. We have Victor Oteng too. Without I'm not forgetting to mention Donald Kimaya. Thank you so much for you being here and supporting this channel, and we hope in the near future we will grow big. Any of you can give a suggestion, or can send a question to the honorable member. When he comes back, he might answer those questions, because like what we are looking here is about leadership. And if we have very good leadership, our country will be somewhere. And if we don't have very good leadership, our country will be where it is today. So that is something that Adede, thank you very much for coming back, and we appreciate
Yes,
you so much. You talked
yes,
about how it is not easy for you to be there. Would- you okay?
yes, I'm okay.
So, as you mentioned, we have Kennedy Akech too on the show. So you can also send in your questions from Muesh. If you're coming from Kisumu, you can answer some of your questions. And now, if that is the case, because I know you're somebody who was born and raised in Kaloleni, you know the challenges of Kaloleni and the Shauri Moyo. And when
Yeah.
you come into leadership, you're coming with that mind, like you know where the problem is, you know.
Yes.
But when it reaches a point where by now the nomination is being given, you find like you've performed well, even your people has voted for you in the nomination, but still you find like due to mistrust, you don't get that certificate, or you're not given the opportunity. Why is that one so? Yet you understand the challenges and everything that the people of area representing are going through.
You see, I came to realize the hard way
Yeah.
that to some extent, some of these political parties do not just look at your popularity.
Hmm.
And remember, in the words of the late Utino Kajwang, he, he quoted something that fidelity and loyalty to the party will be
But
number one consideration.
if we suspect,
You see that? So sometimes that is where the problem is coming. So, in other words,
mhm,
you can be popular on the ground.
mhm,
Your people can love you because maybe the way you articulate issues on the
mhm,
ground, but you
mhm,
still fail to clinch the party nominations. And remember, I
mhm,
can remember when we did our nomination for our party, ODM,
mhm,
in my ward there were 3 polling stations. Up to now, more than 1 year later, my agent is still asking me how many votes did we get. Imagine agent asking me instead of me asking the agent.
oh,
We were never given the figures.
yeah. Mhm,
So it is not about popularity.
mhm,
Sometimes you can be popular on the ground, you articulate it as well, but sometimes the party have their own ways of doing things. And
mhm,
remember, when you are vying with some of these political parties, like in my case, I was vying in ODM.
mhm,
You sign. There is a form you sign,
mhm, mhm.
and one of the clauses you are signing, the party is telling you that they reserve the right
To
to give the party nomination to whoever hmm,
uh,
they
mhm,
feel is appropriate. To me, you already have taken the right from you, the right to be given when you. So even if you go to court,
uh-huh,
they'll produce that form and tell you, but you told us the party reserve the right. You accept the party reserve the right to give anybody, even if the last person the party reserve that right.
mhm.
So
So
it's
so
not about
so
popularity.
okay. So let me just follow up about your agent not even knowing
Yes,
the um
the votes,
the votes
the
or the
number of
results
votes.
that you got as an aspirant.
Yes,
So to me, it make me understand
yes.
you lost, but your losing was not convincing because like how would you convince myself that I lost yet I don't know the result?
Actually, that was the case. Unfortunately, that was the case. ODM did not tabulate for us the votes each and every candidate got per polling station.
Mhm.
Yeah? The gadgets, remember we were voting digitally. By
Yes.
5 p.m., all the gadgets were off. I don't know if it was by design or the battery went off. All the gadgets were off.
Mhm.
Yeah? So they did not produce any result. Then we were assembled in some room
Mhm.
and they read number one is so and so, number two is so and so, number three is so and so, and the process is done. So you don't know how many votes you get. So it was
Yeah.
just that simple. So
Mhm.
that is why the agent is still asking me instead of me asking him that how many votes did you get? Because how many votes did you tell you? So I also don't know.
So
So
okay, go
yes.
ahead.
So
So
the
mm,
results are just opaque. So you find yourself you are not even sure whether you won or lost. You can't be sure because you don't have the results.
so Honorable Adede, because
Yes,
like I've followed you, I've
yes,
followed you on what you are doing,
yes,
and now as a leader,
yes,
and not, this is not only in ODM, it's all the political parties,
exactly.
especially with the young generation like you, because like I
Yes,
feel like you, especially you are young generation and the young leaders who are picking up from the older generation, yeah.
yes.
If such like situation is befalling you, all of you, does it give you hope at some point, like I will have to see on how the challenges that my people are facing are going to be solved, because maybe somebody who has gone there has does not have the touch with the people, it did not live in the area that you are contesting, and the problems have been there for almost over 10 years, and as a young person who has been there, do you feel like those challenges of the people you represent will be solved if you cannot get that chance?
Okay, you find that whenever you are vying, you have your set of policies, you have the
Yeah.
things you wish to address based on the way you understand
Mhm.
your area.
Mhm.
Each and every person tend to have his own policies.
Mhm.
Mm. So personally, like for me, some of
Mhm.
the things I would wish to address are things to do with the young people.
Mhm.
uh, Supporting the young people to do business, supporting the young people to have skills in terms of education,
Mhm.
supporting young people, empowering young people.
Mhm.
So you find that maybe the other person who got that opportunity doesn't have such things at heart. So you find that he's ignoring those things. So I still believe that the things I would wish to have addressed if I were elected
Mhm.
are still not addressed because they were not part and parcel of the other person's policy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the will of the people was subverted. So we are still facing those challenges.
So and that's now what are we call it the democracy. And every
Exactly.
time in our country, in all our political parties, because I can remember even in UDA the other day I was talking to one of the honorable member who also vied in Kisumu, Kisumu Railways ward, and
Yes.
almost the script is the same. You remember Toto, the women rep from Bomet.
Bomet, exactly.
When Toto went to the UDA's office for the very first time, I don't know, she was ignored. Yeah.
Yes, in Karen, I remember that story.
Yeah. She was ignored, and like, like based on maybe her background or the way she was dressed.
Yes.
And
They felt she was nobody.
yeah, she was nobody due to the fact that even his family, nobody was a politician, maybe, or they did not
Yes.
have a lot of cash. But later, when on the ground, they came and realized that, oh, Toto has this massive following. And that's why they even did what I call hypocrisy. And the
Yes.
hypocrisy was like every time in the initial stages of the government, the deputy president would carry her. The first place she was on a plane with the deputy president, they came to Kisumu with the youth,
Yes. I
just
remember.
to show that youths are given opportunity. Yet that was not the true fact. So what are the the changes, or what are the strategies that the youth can use so that they can get that platform? Because sometimes we end up not getting good leaders at the expenses of the youths who can lead us well. What can we do as youths?
I think one of the things we need to do as youth, number one, is to come together and speak in one voice.
Mm,
That is the biggest challenges. This is the biggest challenge facing us as youth. Because most of us youths, you find that we are not well placed financially. Like
mm,
most of us lack money and jobs and so forth.
mhm,
So when somebody comes with money, he can easily divide us and take us to a particular direction.
mhm,
And in other words, in most cases, youths are being influenced so much with money, so that to an extent, when I come as a youth with a little or no money,
mhm,
they will not take me serious. My fellow youth will be the one who will be throwing insult at me, abusing me in social media, bashing me, ignoring me in the ground. You see,
mm, yeah.
so you find that these elderly people, they take advantage of that. They know that youths kazi yao ni rahisi, just go and buy them,
Mhm,
just take them some money, then
mm,
you have them on your side.
mhm,
So if youths cannot come together,
mhm.
then we are still in a serious trouble.
Serious
If we
trouble.
can come together and speak in one voice,
Mhm,
because remember, in most political rallies,
mhm,
youths are the majority. You will rarely find the elderly people there. Youth are, that is why even in the greetings in political rally inakwanga like vijana hoye,
yeah.
vijana tibin. Yani it is about vijana. It
Mm,
is always about vijana. Eh?
mhm.
So the youths are the one driving
Oh. Mhm,
the political strategy, but
mm.
they're the ones who are being misused the most
The
because
most.
they're being bought to the highest bidder.
Mhm. So, okay, go ahead.
So I believe that the best strategy for us youth is to come together and speak in one voice and say we
Mhm,
don't want to be used.
mhm,
We want to support our fellow youth
mhm,
who will advocate for our agenda
mhm,
in the national and the county government platforms.
mhm.
Exactly.
So, and I usually there's I usually call it the why there's generation of corrupt politician. The generation of corrupt politician is where they'll use their money um, to influence youths not in the right direction but in the wrong direction so that they can win their way, and that is corruption. Now, Adede, before we go
Yes.
back into politics, I want to bring you back to your organization. I was seeing you have organization that serves the community, and
Yes.
I see you did like sanitary towels, so many things. The other day I saw you with border border, the circle. There was also a day you are organizing. Was it campus? There was the majority of students in campus. You are kind of like coming up with association of campus
Yes.
guys.
Yes. So
Yeah,
exactly.
and I saw that with the organization and the politics. How are you managing to run the organization and the politics? Because both of them involve money. Are you
Yes.
sharing the
Exactly.
money from politics? The money from politics come from organization, or the money from organization is not being touched?
Actually, there's no money which is coming from either side. There's no money which is coming from the organization. There's no money which is coming from politics. I'm the one pumping my resources to these two things. It is the other way around.
Uh,
so, so uh, I tend to run these two things concurrently because I believe they push the same interest.
mhm,
Uh, Personally, I joined politics so that I can bring social, economic, and political change within our community.
mhm,
And my organization, which is a Sheshe Foundation,
mhm,
is also geared towards the same.
mhm,
That's why you find me doing things like sanitary towels. You
mhm,
find me doing tree planting to take care of the environment. You find me taking some young people to some colleges to do skill to have skills like plumbing, wiring, electricals. You see,
mhm,
so that they can acquire skills.
mhm,
So that is why it is easy for me to run these two things concurrently,
mhm,
the politics and the organization, because
mhm,
both of them are geared toward empowering our people both socially,
mhm,
economically,
mhm.
environmentally, and politically.
Yeah. And again, when you look at the same organization, because you know when you run such like organization, it means it needs finances.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Where do you get the finances? Do you have partners who are assisting you uh, to
Usually,
finance?
yeah, that's a good question. Like for example, when I did the sanitary pads, I look for like-minded organizations
Mm,
and friends.
mhm,
So there was some kind of donation from friends, and some
mhm,
like so you find that friends when I advertise that my organization is going to distribute, for example, sanitary pads to Caledonian slums,
mhm,
I ask friends for support, and some of them usually come to support. At the same time, I
mhm,
also ask like-minded organizations to come and join hands with me. You see,
mhm.
so it just takes off like that. But there's no money we are getting from that. It's just like a charity thing,
A
just to
charity.
it's just a show of goodwill to the community. We're just giving back. I've done a
Mm,
lot of those things. I've even there was a I've even given books and pens
yeah.
to the entire pupils in Kaloni slums. You see, it was just
Mhm,
support from like-minded and friends.
mhm.
There's not even a penny we got from those things, and we are not even interested in making money from such. We're just interested in bringing the impact to the community.
Okay, and I usually say if your leadership is not bringing any impact to the society where you live around, then you
Yes,
don't deserve to be a leader. Leader is
exactly,
is a person who can bring changes to the
exactly,
people who surrounds him or the people whom he serves.
exactly.
Honadede, during protest, you
Yes,
are in the forefront and you are really fighting for cost of living to go down. You are really fighting for opening of the server because those are some of the things that were there. We were
yes,
really, yeah. So far, we've seen the maandamano has gone. People went to bipartisan issue. From bipartisan, they went to it became a national dialogue.
mm.
From your own perspective, do you see us achieving anything, a country achieving something from national dialogue?
Okay, from my own perspective, I think in as much as we may not achieve all,
Hmm.
but we may achieve some.
Hmm.
Because remember President Ruto, when he was talking, he once said that he want a vibrant opposition to check the government.
Hmm.
So, for example, when we go to the streets and do demos,
Hmm.
that is part of being vibrant. Because
Yeah.
remember, for as an opposition, you cannot just speak and you are in the house and tell the government that we want the price of hunger to come down. We want this thing. They will hardly listen. Sometimes you have to come out strongly and go to the street and protest and carry placards so we realize that that is the only language
Hmm.
the government understand. And being a member of ODM party, and I also believe in the objectives of the party.
Hmm.
We as a party, we realize that by pushing that in that direction,
Hmm.
then the government will be willing to negotiate
Hmm.
negotiate those things that we requested. So I believe that even if we will not achieve all, but
Hmm.
some gains will be achieved.
Okay, and the same on the point. I think it was today that some quarters were calling for Raila Odinga for revolution, right?
Yes,
Why is it that every time and again that
yes.
people will always wait for Raila Odinga to, the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga to call all these masses, yet the people who are feeling the pinch themselves cannot own up? Why then? Why is it that it's only Raila Odinga who can do that? If Raila doesn't do it, nobody's going to do it. Yet the people who are feeling the most pain are they were Fuasi. Why can't they one day just decided that Raila is not there to be seen? Raila is not there, and they take up this, which means they take their own agenda in their own hands rather than pointing at the Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Okay, I think there are very many people who are willing to do that. The
Hmm.
only problem is the only challenge is the influence. Like for example, you as Ben,
Hmm.
you may one day wake up and say that you want to push for reforms, or you want to call out people to demonstrate against this the high cost of living.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, maybe and your wife will come out when you say such a thing. You'll find that people will not believe in you. So the only challenge we are having in Kenya is that the leaders who have influence, most
Hmm.
of them don't want to walk that journey,
Hmm.
which Raila is taking, the one of calling for mandamano and pushing for vibrant opposition.
Hmm.
The one who want to do such
Hmm.
doesn't have influence. So that is
Hmm.
the biggest challenge we have. The people who want to do it don't have influence. The people who have influence don't want to do it. So that is why since Raila is the one who has stood out as somebody who have the capacity, the political capacity to do that. That's why we always run to him. That Raila, he called for a manamana, Raila.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, and that's why sometimes I feel sometimes
yes,
like the majority, the citizen should think of like Raila is not there. Let's say Raila,
yes.
the Right Honorable Prime Minister, is not there, and there's some things that are happening that are affecting Wananchi. How will they do it if Raila is not there?
Actually, that is something that we as Kenya we really need to think of, because
Yeah,
it is really something that may happen one day.
yeah,
Because currently it is only about Raila. If
yeah.
Raila has not called for Mandamano, the way Raila stopped calling for Mandamano, there cannot be Mandamano in Kenya. So it is high time, I believe, that is a challenge to us, especially young people
Mm,
who have now entered the political scene,
mm.
that we also need to think of ourselves, the way we can also galvanize our energy, mobilize ourselves, and push for reforms on our own capacity without the help of others like Raila. So I think that is a challenge to us.
Okay. You are in the demonstration. We mentioned it earlier, and we saw
Yes,
the majority of our sons and brothers in Kisumu. What they faced in the hands of the police. It was so much brutal. Uh,
yes,
as a leader, I know there are some people from the area that you are representing, whether you did not you are not elected, or you are like now you're a leader, you represent them.
Yes.
Have you done follow up for justice, or is just like it ended like that?
We've done follow of justice at personal level. I've done, for example,
Mm,
me, the area where I represent,
mm,
I know all the persons who are brutalized, who are maimed, who are
mhm,
killed by the police. I know them.
mhm,
The first thing I did, I visited them in the hospital,
mhm,
so I know them by names. These are the people I know. I visited in the hospital.
mhm,
Those who are killed, I also visited the mortuary. I even attended the burial of some of them.
mhm,
That was over. Right now, that being that there's no mandamano and they have the data,
mhm.
you can remember last week, me in together with the Linda Jamii person headed by Professor Gola,
Yes, I saw you.
we personally presented a petition to
Mhm,
Milimani courts in Kisumu,
mhm,
a watertight position, a watertight case
mhm,
to compel the government
mhm,
to compensate everybody who was maimed, brutalized, and killed during the Mandamanos.
mhm,
Yes, and we strongly believe that that case is going to go somewhere, at least in terms of compensating these people, because the first thing we did, we pressured the government. The
mhm,
government is to produce a report of the Mandaman. We want them to produce their own report of the Mandamano in terms of how many people were maimed, injured, where, how, and how many people were killed. We wanted them to have the data, to bring the data. Then the data in the court, we will use the data in court
mhm,
to sue them. We tell them now that you know that these people, a number of these people were maimed, killed, and injured.
mhm,
What is the role of government in this? Because we strongly believe that it's the role of the government to take care of their people. Because at the end of the day, everybody's a taxpayer, either directly or indirectly.
mhm,
Yeah. So as an individual, I strongly believe that I've done my part
mhm,
in terms of standing with the victims of Mandamano,
mhm.
visiting them, and now pushing for their compensation legally in the legal way.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. We will keep people updated on what is taking place. And because I saw you
Exactly.
with the prof, there's also a friend of mine whom is with the prof. I keep on asking
Yes.
him about the fate of the victims, and what's the way forward. And Mr. Dede, about when you look at the politics of Kisumu, yeah, in
Yes.
general, how do you think Prof is doing, Anyang Nyong'o?
Okay. What I can say, uh, Prof is really trying.
Mm-hmm.
But on the part of the young people and the youths, I
Mm-hmm.
can strongly say that he has totally neglected the role of young people in the county government, in our county building.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've really followed closely the way he operates and the way he works, and
Mm-hmm.
even the way he assigns responsibilities and appoint people.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Ministry of Youth in Kisumu County government, the ministry in charge of youth, the young people, huh? The chief officer is
Mm-hmm.
not a young person in that ministry. So I wonder how he's going to advocate for this. The, the minister in that office is somebody who is above 35 years old. He's a mid 40s. I wonder how he's going to advocate for people like in their 20s and early 30s. So I strongly believe that the young people are not represented in this county government of Professor Nyang' Nyong'o.
But Adede, there's
Yes,
something that need to be done, especially when it comes to youth awareness. They should be done. because even if you look at these what we call the political processes,
mm,
yeah, in our constitution, these are privileges in the constitution that the youth themselves they should take advantage of, you know. And if they come and unite as
yes,
one team, they can achieve much. But the problem is that
yes,
that unity, because if Adede is running for Shaurimoyo ward, they are the same people who will bring Adede down,
yes,
you know, because somebody is saying like, okay, if Adede wins, maybe Adede is going to be better than me, you know. Yeah. And they end up being bought by maybe by the big wigs and say, okay, they're buying with small money, you go and use it one day, then that is the end of it, and you suffer for the 5 years. So I think the youth should also take the initiative of advocating for this, because if you keep quiet for too long, then
yes,
you will not get it, you know. So that is something that if you're having these your forums, because I see you're having most of this forum, try to have a conversation, a very deep conversation, and telling them how important they are, such that they can advocate for their own. Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
that one can work. And let me just bring you that what can be done to change party politics to be better and accommodative to the youths and their leadership. What can we do?
I think what we can do,
Hmm.
we really need young people
Hmm.
to come and join these political parties.
Hmm.
We really need these young people to come and join these political parties and have their voice heard. Because I realize, like for example, I usually give example with my party, which is ODM.
Hmm.
We have a structure. We have a structure of the party from the party leader to party chairman, coming down to county chairman, down to ward level.
Hmm.
And I usually attend. I usually attend my party meetings,
Hmm.
and I can surprise you that young people are not represented in those roles. In fact, to an extent, in Kisumu County, the youth leader of ODM is somebody who is 43 years old. And when we were having a meeting some 3 months ago,
Hmm.
we were having a meeting in the ODM house here in Kisumu. That person strongly said that I know I am above 35 years old,
Yeah.
but come next election,
Uh-huh.
I am still going to vie. And remember, we will be having some party elections here very soon.
Mm.
Come next party elections, I'm still going to vie as the ODM youth leader of Kisumu County. Then we asked him why, and you are above 35. Do you know what he told us?
Mhm.
That in the party politics, youth is defined in terms of the energy you bring, not age. so, so
uh,
you find that young people they usually take such advantages because when party meetings are called, number one,
mhm.
communication. You will for you to know that even there is a party meeting is a problem.
It's a problem.
Communication, they will not send, they will not communicate in social media that
Mm.
today we are having a party meeting in this place. They just send a message to some few people, then
Mm.
they sit in a room,
Is it-
then
yeah.
they assign roles. So, you take that, you take this, you take this, and that. So young people, if you don't join these political parties,
Mm.
then our voices will not be heard. The first thing is we really need to join these political parties. Then after joining them,
Mhm.
push for our agenda and push for our representation within these
I,
political parties.
I disagree with you. The reason why I
Yes,
disagree with you, how do you
yes,
want me to join this political
yes.
party? Yet, even during communication, you're not included. How can that one happen?
Yes, actually, that is the challenge we are having. You see exactly what you've said. Most of these young people, they feel that they are not involved, so they show no interest. And that is why they continue to take advantage of us every day.
But the law, when you look at the law of Kenya allows you as a youth, you can form your own political party with the different ideology that accommodate, because like by trying, that one can also is also democracy, because there's that democracy whereby if you feel your voices are not being heard in any of the big political parties in Kenya, you can come up with your own political party and push that for the leadership agenda that will answerable to the people, or that will solve the people's challenges.
Yes, yes, the law allows that. And remember, previously, before this new constitution, it was very easy for you to form a political party.
Mhm,
But currently,
mhm,
it is very challenging, even for you, my brother Benson.
mhm,
For you to form a political party is not as easy as you think. My good friend John here is trying to do it, and I've seen his struggles. Because number one of the challenges you will face when you're trying to form a political party is the financial challenges, because there are so much requirements. For example, you really need to pay like 100,000 for you to have a temporary certificate.
mhm.
After having that temporary certificate, you need to pay another 500,000. That is half a million. You
Eh,
see, after
mhm,
getting this half a million, you will be told to open offices in at least 24 counties. You set up offices, and these offices will have leadership. You see, so you find that most of these things call for finances. To an extent, in as much as you may desire to form your own political party,
mhm,
you may find that you are most likely to meet financial challenges.
mhm.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
why we most of us we just join the already established political party and suffer inside there.
okay, it's okay, but I do encourage you so much, because I know of young leaders in Kisumu like you who are fighting it very hard to be in the leadership.
Yes,
But hopefully, along the way, you will be there. Yeah,
yes,
the struggle is on. Oh, Mr. Adede, what can you tell our viewers today?
yes. What I can tell our viewers is that we as a people, we do not need to sit down and watch our leaders messing things, be it your leader at local ward level, be it your leader at the constituency level, be it your leader at the county, be it your leader at the county level, the governor, the senator, be it your national leader, the president. I believe each and every person has a responsibility in terms of agitating for change and pushing for reforms from the grassroots level to the national level. So, what I can tell our people is that let us hold our leaders accountable for
Mhm,
their actions and
mhm,
omissions.
mhm,
I believe that is one of the best ways we can bring change in this country. If your leader promised you that he will be building roads in your state, this is the right time to start asking why is that road not being built if it's not being built? If your
mhm,
leader promised to sponsor people through education and scholarship,
mhm,
it is the right time to start asking why is it not being done?
mhm,
If your president promised to lower the cost of fuel and the cost of hunger and for the mama bogas and everybody, if it
mhm,
isn't being done, it is high time we start asking why is it not being done?
mhm,
Because that is our civic duty as a people.
mhm,
If we neglect our civic duties as people, then
mhm,
these leaders will take advantage of us and do as they wish, as they enrich their pockets and fatten their bank accounts, while we, the whole holoi polloi, we continue to struggle and suffer, and yet we are the taxpayers. So let us be on the watch out.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Adede Sheshe, for coming on the show. And feel at home. If you have something that you need to share with us, always let me know and we'll bring you on the show. And thank you for your big support. And maybe I will host you next time on some other issues, especially concerning the leadership. And for now, thank you
Yes.
very much and may God bless you and thank you for your time. For those who are watching us for the very first time, please be member of this channel and let us grow together as we talk about the leadership. So Your subscription matter to us, and you are highly welcome to be part of the family. Adede, thank you so much, and may God bless you. We will talk again next time.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy, and I do believe next time we'll continue with this conversation.
Yes, we will. Thank you so much, Mr. Adede.
Okay.